purpose of this video is to show you how to cite a source in NoodleTools. Let's begin on your projects page. Make sure you have selected the correct project to which you want to add a citation. You'll know which project is active because the word open appears next to the project name. For example, here I see open next to the project name World History Research Paper, so I know that this is my active project. Any sources, note cards, or outline that I add at this point will be connected to this project. Now go up to the menu. This menu appears no matter where you navigate to on the NoodleTools website. So if you get lost on a step, just go back to the menu to reorient. To add a citation, click on the Sources tab in the menu. Currently, I don't see any citations for this project because I haven't entered any yet. So let's begin. Click on the Create New Citation button on the left-hand side, and then NoodleTools will begin to guide you through a series of steps in the process of adding a new source citation. The first step is to choose where you found your source. Did you find your source in a database or on a website? Is it a print book or an interview that you heard live? Is it a digital file, or perhaps it's some other type of source? So now I have to decide, but let's try this with a real source. Okay, so here's a website that I found using a search engine. I've already determined that this website meets my information needs, and it also appears to be a reliable source of information. I'll go back to NoodleTools and choose the best fit for this particular source. It's not a database. It looks like a website to me. I look at my other options and I determine that a website is what I'm going to go with. So I click on the Website tab. Now the menu of source types expands and I see a variety of website source types. I've got web page, anthology, book, newspaper, magazine, radio program, reference source, video clip, work of visual art. So I have to take a closer look at my source and determine what type of source it is. I would look at the name of the source that I see here in the upper left-hand corner, and it's called the Ancient History Encyclopedia. Well, I know that an encyclopedia is a reference source. This is a website reference source, but it's still a reference source. So I find that option in my list of source types, and I click on Reference Source. Now NoodleTools directs me to the form for this particular source type. And this is how NoodleTools always works. You choose the source type, and then it gives you a form to fill in information. Now, if at any point you determine that the form that you have is not the best fit for the source, you can change it by going up to the top where it says Citing, and then you have the drop-down menu. So I could switch to a different type of source here if I found that the form that I chose was incorrect. So now I work through filling out the form for this particular source. This is an e-publication, so I'm going to leave that default option as is. Now I have to determine the name of the container website. When I click in a field in the NoodleTools forms, I'll get some helping text over on the right-hand side to help me locate the information that I need to fill in. The name of this container website would be Ancient History Encyclopedia. The publisher of the e-reference work is the information that I would find most likely at the bottom of the website with the copyright information. And I see here that the publisher information is Ancient History Encyclopedia. I go back to my NoodleTools, and if that information is the same as the name of the container website, then I can leave this field blank. Now I need to copy and paste the URL for my source. I go up to the web address bar and I copy and paste the URL into the NoodleTools form. As you can see, I'm toggling between the two tabs that I have open at the same time. It's always a good idea to have your sources open at the same time as NoodleTools so that you can work with both of the two websites at the same time. Now I have to look for the date of publication for my source. That information is usually at the top of a source or at the bottom. In this case, I see here that the date of publication is November 14th, 2013. Now, not all websites are going to include a date of publication, so if you can't find that information, leave it blank. The next option is to enter the date of most recent access. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the link for today, and it will autofill today's date. Next, I'm looking for the article or entry's author or contributor. Fortunately, this source has an author listed, Joshua J. Mark. Not all websites include an author's name, so if you don't have that information, leave this field blank. Now I have to find the article or entry title. That's pretty easy on this page because the text is very prominent, and I can copy and paste it directly from the website. Now I have to think about the reference source as a whole, in which case this is the Ancient History Encyclopedia. The author or editor is not clearly listed anywhere on the website, so I'm going to leave this field blank. But the next field I see this red asterisk. The red asterisk in a NoodleTools form indicates that that information is required. I have to fill in something here. That's why I've been able to leave some of the previous fields blank. They didn't have a red asterisk. The next two do. So I'm going to click on Encyclopedia and leave that as is because this is the Ancient History Encyclopedia. And I'm going to type in the name one more time, Ancient History Encyclopedia. Now, I think about how I've already entered in this information once before in the form. I don't want it to show up twice, so I have to think about where I want to have this information appear in my citation. It would be best to keep it in the field where it is required. So I'm going to take out that information from the name of container website field where it's not required. Now I'm ready to go ahead and click on the Submit button. Whenever you fill out a form in NoodleTools, you must click on the Submit button for it to save the information that you've entered. Once you do click on the Submit button, however, it will direct you back out to your citations page where you can see all of the citations that you've entered. And now I see that I have one citation already formatted with all of the information that I've input into the form. Now it's your turn to add your sources. Once you've finished, you may want to export your citations and include them in a research paper or in a PowerPoint slide. If you need help exporting citations, please view the next tutorial video, Export Citations in NoodleTools.